Hey everybody, I'm Jonas Means with Cutler Investment Group, and I'm joined with Austin Schneider.
With Real Logic Sotheby's International Realty.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
So I've got 3 questions for Austin regarding the Seattle housing market, because we recently were given the title as the best housing market in the nation. And so the first question is, am I too late to buy a house? Am I too late to the dance? Are home prices ever going to flatten out?
If you're a home buyer, you can hope so, because the average price point in Seattle right now is about $760,000. And if we keep appreciating at around 14%, which we did last year, by 2026, the average home price is going to be $2 million. So if you're a buyer, absolutely, you want it to flatten out a little bit. Let's face it, with Amazon and the booming growth of the economy here in Seattle, it's going to continue to grow, but just not at the ridiculous rates as we've been seeing.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you mentioned tech growth. You know, I was downtown Seattle yesterday, and it's Amazonia.
Yeah.
You have Amazon, Expedia, Google making a place.
Yeah.
So what I heard was that 1,100 people per week move up to here to Seattle for those types of jobs from California.
Yeah.
Now these guys are, they're getting great jobs, but they're not necessarily jobs that you can afford a $750,000 home. So how as a millennial or young person can you afford these homes?
Yeah, it's really about getting creative, and there are lending options that actually that use the stock that you have in a company towards your income, so allows you to look more into that. A lot of millennials are also waiting until they're married, so they have the dual income, or it's, hey, you're buying something and it may be a little bit more expensive up front, but you can Airbnb a room, you can get a roommate. There's also a company called Loftium that will give you a down payment if you Airbnb a room for a year or so, and they take a portion of that. So it's about getting creative, asking your parents, and seeing what you can make work for a down payment.
So lots of options out there.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Okay, and the last question I wanted to ask you, and one that I get a lot, is it too late to buy real estate for investment purposes?
Well, it depends on where you want to invest in the Seattle area. Interest rates right now are pretty dang low compared to probably what the investors had invested in years ago, and if they can afford to buy it and that makes sense financially from a rentability standpoint, then it absolutely makes sense, because there is going to be demand while there's all these apartments being built up around us, which is most of the construction. If you have a dog, 2 kids, and a wife, you don't want to live in an 1,100 square foot apartment, right?
No.
You want to maybe live just outside of Seattle in a nice single family home, maybe for a couple of years, as you can kind of get under your belt, especially with all the people that are moving here.
So there's definitely some potential for
it just depends where and whatnot. So
well, thanks, man. I really appreciate you joining me today, and have a good one.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.